The question for today is it a conspiracy theory that Tylenol causes autism? So when people first hear that scientists are saying that Tylenol causes autism, especially after birth, they think this is just crazy. But if we've got another video, and the link is in the caption, that says, well, it's happened repeatedly throughout history. You've got a lot of drugs that had to be pulled from the market, especially for pediatric use. Thalidomide, chloramphenicol, even cigarettes at one time were prescribed by doctors. So it's not that crazy, but we're still going to break it down. We've made a chart looking at the difference between a conspiracy theory and an actual scientific theory. And by scientific theory, I mean this is something that we know to be correct based on all of the science. And we'll take a look at this chart and go item by item for clarity. So the first thing about the scientific theory is that the critical supporting evidence is based in reality. So this is certainly true with this conclusion that acetaminophen is causing autism in susceptible babies and children. The science is all out there. We publish the science. Nobody's trying to hide it. Whereas with a conspiracy theory, frequently the evidence is not really there, or there's innuendos, but no actual evidence. So the next thing that we look at with a scientific theory is that we want to be able to apply the scientific method to test that theory. Of course, we can do that with the conclusion that acetaminophen causes autism. You can't do that with a conspiracy theory because it may have something that happened in the past and can no longer be verified, or it's just something that's a little bit too cloudy to really know what's going on. So a third thing that we can look at is the nature of a conspiracy theory typically tends to be these fragile chains of logic that are all connected together. And if you break one link in the chain, if one thing proves to not be true, the whole thing falls apart. Scientific theories tend to work a lot differently. You tend to have different lines of evidence. For example, you could have immunology, biochemistry, pharmacology, epidemiology, all coming together telling you the same thing. So we might need to refine some of those lines of evidence periodically, and that's certainly what we've got. We've got multiple lines of evidence coming from different fields of science that are telling us that acetaminophen is causing autism in susceptible babies and children. And of course, another issue is that these scientific theories kind of develop over time. I mean, the first data that we knew about was in 2008, and now we have 20 different lines, over 20 different lines of evidence, scientific evidence that are telling us that acetaminophen is causing autism. Whereas conspiracy theories tend to just kind of pop up overnight. And that's one of the differences between a scientific theory and a conspiracy theory. And then conspiracy theories tend to be kind of complicated. There's a lot of things that have to be true for a conspiracy theory to really make sense. Whereas a scientific theory, it fits something called Occam's razor. It is the simplest explanation for all the available data. And that's absolutely true when it comes to acetaminophen causing autism. There's so much information. All of it is explained by this connection between the drug and the neurological condition. And that's the big picture with whether or not Tylenol causing autism is a conspiracy theory.